All right, let's get into this. We're about to break down a financial bet so wild, so audacious, it won't actually pay off until the next century. This is the incredible story of Alphabet's 100-year gamble.
And it all kicks off with this one number, £1 billion.
Now, think about that. This isn't just any old loan. It's basically a financial time capsule. It's a massive bet that Alphabet will not only still be around in 100 years, but will be doing well enough to pay it all back. It's a promise made to the year 2026.
And that right there, that's the central mystery. I mean, we're talking about Google's parent company, a business with over $125 billion in cash just sitting in the bank. So why on earth would they take out what is essentially a century-long mortgage?
So, to figure out why a company that's practically drowning in cash would take out such a massive loan, we've got to look at the deal itself. Because this wasn't just about one bond. Oh no, this was a global financial operation on a truly epic scale.
The market's reaction? It was an absolute feeding frenzy. Alphabet basically said, hey, we'd like some money, and the world offered them 5 times more than they even needed, over $100 billion. This insane demand, mostly from UK pension funds looking for super safe, long-term places to park their cash, meant Alphabet could lock in incredibly low interest rates. So great, they've got this mountain of cheap cash, but what in the world are they going to do with it?
Well, the answer lies in this massive tectonic shift that's happening in the tech industry as we speak. We have officially entered the AI arms race.
You see, for decades, tech giants got rich with this asset-light model. They sold software, which you can copy 1 million times for basically nothing. It was a beautiful business model. But AI? Oh, AI just throws that entire playbook out the window. This new world is capital-intensive. It's not about elegant code anymore, it's about physical stuff. It scales with silicon chips, with mind-boggling amounts of power, and with huge plots of land for data centers.
And Goldman Sachs has the perfect term for this dynamic. They call it a prisoner's dilemma. All these giants, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, they're all trapped. None of them can afford to stop spending on AI, because if one of them backs off and this thing really is the future, they risk becoming totally irrelevant. So what happens? They're all forced to overinvest, creating this absolute explosion in spending.
And that brings us to this absolutely staggering number, up to $185 billion. That's the projection for how much Alphabet might spend in 2026 alone. This is a once-in-a-generation build-out. So what exactly are they building with all that money?
This is where all that borrowed cash is going. It's for creating the literal physical infrastructure, the brains and the bones of the future of artificial intelligence.
Okay, first let's talk about the brains. These are not your off-the-shelf chips. No way. These are Google's very own, custom-designed tensor processing units. The latest version, codenamed Ironwood, is an absolute beast. It has huge amounts of super-fast memory to hold these giant AI models, and it's so powerful it actually needs liquid pumped directly onto the chip to keep it cool. This gives them a massive strategic advantage.
Then you have the bones. They're connecting all these custom brains with networks of pure light and housing them in these colossal new data centers. We're talking a $40 billion investment in Texas, another $9 billion in Virginia. They are literally building a physical empire for the future. It sounds amazing, right? But what if that empire is built on a bubble that's just about to burst? Because this insane level of spending has completely split Wall Street right down the middle. This has sparked a huge, fierce debate. The case against them, the bear case, is actually terrifyingly simple. In 2026, for every single dollar Google makes from its operations, it's projected to spend 90 cents of it on infrastructure. 90 cents just to stay in the game. And the direct consequence of that for investors? Well, the actual cash left over at the end of the day is projected to collapse by 90%. This isn't just a worrying number on a chart. It's a chilling echo from tech history. To really understand the risk here, we have to rewind the clock. Let's go back to 1997 and talk about another tech titan that made this exact same 100-year bet. In 1997, Motorola was king of the world. They were on top of their game, the global leader in mobile phones. And right at that absolute peak of their power, what did they do? They also issued a 100-year bond. Just 1 year later, they were overtaken by Nokia. A decade after that, the iPhone made them completely irrelevant. It's just a stark reminder that being on top is temporary, and 100 years is an absolute eternity in the world of technology. And this is where the famous investor Michael Burry, the guy from The Big Short who predicted the 2008 crisis, weighs in.
He sees this kind of move as the ultimate warning sign. He thinks it's a signal of peak confidence and complacency, right before a huge, disruptive shift changes everything. But is Alphabet really just another Motorola?
Well, the defenders of this strategy argue that no. Alphabet is a fundamentally different beast. Motorola sold hardware, phones that could easily be replaced. Alphabet, on the other hand, owns the entire digital ecosystem through search and ads. Plus, it has that massive pile of cash to survive any storm, a luxury Motorola never had.
So here we are. Alphabet has placed a bet that literally spans a century, and it leaves all of us with the ultimate question. Are we watching the construction of an empire that will last forever? Or are we witnessing the greatest corporate blunder in history? Only time, a whole lot of it, will tell.